I just realized I was muted. What's up, everybody? How's it going, guys? We are live. We are here on the Decrepit channel. Welcome to another beautiful Monday stream. This is Monday stream number 7. Hang out with your Floppy. Uh, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently tonight. I'll go into that. But first, I just wanted to go ahead and let's recognize everybody in the chat real quick. We got a few folks in the building. Peak Fire Bra. What's up, Oddball? Always good to see you. Backseater Hail Decrepit. What's up, Backseater? Yeah, and like I said, no intro because fuck StreamYard and their $45 a month. I will not be giving those motherfuckers, those cocksuckers, any of my money until I can see feasibly to do so. So we're just gonna do that. Hail to you as well. Yeah, fuck them. No intro needed. Howdy, folks. Have a great stream, bro. Hey, Scran, thank you, man. What's up, bro? Good to see you. Good to see you. Always a pleasure. And then we got Leland March in here. Hello, what's up, man? Good to see you. And we got my brother Narrow Dark in the building. What's up? Shout out to you. One of my favorite Aussies, man. I'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and glaze Narrow Dark, man. Go be sure to sub to his channel. He's got a lot of good content out, consistently dropping content, unlike myself. So be sure to go give him a follow and a sub. But yeah, man, we are live. It has been a hot minute. I want to say what was the last time I did this was 2 months ago. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to hang out tonight. Like I said in the beginning, we're going to be doing this a little bit differently tonight. We're going to go ahead and not go over any new comics of the week. I have to admit to everybody, I haven't been keeping up with comic books as of late because, let's just say I haven't really been impressed with any of the stories that have been coming out from DC or Marvel, and a lot of the indie stuff has just been kind of dragging on, and I just haven't really been finding the time to invest a lot of my personal life into reading some of the new books. So I have been, however, been reading, going back and doubling back to older, uh, older runs of comic book series, if you will. So I definitely will be dropping a lot of the things that I've been reading lately in the comic recommendations towards the end of the stream. We're going to go ahead and we'll get into some comic book chat towards the end of the stream, talking about some books. But first, I definitely want to talk about what's been going on currently because we had New York Comic Con just happened recently. So I definitely want to cover a few things leaning towards more the DC news aspect of Comic Con from New York. I'm not particularly sure if Marvel even announced anything or if Marvel had a booth. I think they showed off some toys and as well as toys, we'll get into some of the toys that we looked at for the McFarlane booth and the DC booth that they were showing off as well. So we're definitely going to be getting into a few things tonight. So I hope that doesn't derail a lot of your guys' expectations for tonight's stream. Like I said, we're not going to be going over new comic books. So let's go ahead and just let's just chat about some of the things that have been going on in the pop culture verse that has to do with comics and comic related media. So let's see, let's go ahead and read. Since it's Spooktober, I picked up Alpha the Wolf Woman, volume 3, number 12. Very nice, very nice. There's also one that you might like, Backseater. It's called Nyx the Dying Light. I have to go check my notes again and see if that's correct, but Nyx, that's also a good one, an indie one to check out. You watched Stargirl yet? You know what, dude? I did watch the first 2 episodes. So I did dabble. I liked what I've been seeing so far, and I didn't finish it. So you can chastise me on that. We'll get into that, of course, when we speak in person. Oops, I probably shouldn't say that just yet. I'm going to announce that at the end of the stream. Absolute DC has been a letdown. Yeah, man, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into the Absolute universe tonight. I just finished All-Star Superman. Very nice, Leland. Very nice indeed. All-Star Superman is a great run. Do you have the omnibus, or did you have multiple trades or single issues on how you read it? Absolute universe, more like absolute disappointment. Very nice. Very, very nice. I agree. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. DC Comics has been under the microscope lately, all because of one of its very profound creators that's been at the helm of the DC franchise lately. And of course, I'm talking about the white-haired Mr. Hipster himself, James Gunn. And James Gunn, I think I've pretty much like let on about how I feel about him before in previous streams, and I'm not particularly a fan of his, to say the least. James Gunn has promised things. He has directed multiple movies now, both in the Marvel and DC universe, and I just want to say that I'm kind of over it. I'm kind of over what I've seen. I'm kind of some people might disagree with this, but I'm not a fan of the direction that he's chosen. The Superman movie was a big letdown as far as what I expected on the pedestal that I hold dearly when you're making or working with something that has to do with Superman. It was definitely a very, very disappointing thing to witness. And I definitely think that the Peacemaker show has been a passion project of his that is something that he put way too much stake into. And the season finale, or season 2 finale, I should say, was a very disappointing thing for a lot of people that were keeping up with it. I watched the first season of Peacemaker because, Narrow Dark got on my ass and he was like saying, like, you need to watch it, because I remember we spoke on an Unlimited Tirade stream where I didn't even know the Peacemaker survived at the end of Suicide Squad. And I went ahead and had to go do my due diligence and see the end credit scene. And now we're going to go ahead and, now then I led into watching the first season, and I am not a fan. I did not like it. I actually despised it, detested it. And a big reason why I detested it was mostly because of how they did my boy Vigilante really dirty. So we're going to go ahead. We'll get into all this stuff right here. Real quick, we had some answers. I have the omnibus. Oh, sick, dude. Very nice. What is that? What is the omnibus for that run? About like 50, $60? James Gunn tries to act super young when he's 60 years old, right? You think his hair is naturally light? I always thought he dyed it. I think his hair is white. He might accentuate it, or what's the word? He might elevate its whiteness with some dye. Maybe it's like a signature look for him. He is like a Hollywood personality now, more than an actual like riveting and dynamic creator. He's 60 and he's very likely to deal with a ton of stress. So yeah, it's probably really white. Yeah, I agree with that. That's what I feel. Excuse me. Second season of Peacemaker didn't need to happen. Yeah, that's the sentiment that I've been seeing, bro. Even excuse me, I'm having some hiccups on the side. Even IGN, the great and powerful IGN.com, came out with a thing that said, "Oh, season 2 finale happened, and this is why it was so disappointing." And when IGN doesn't like something, that's kind of it could either be something that's very good and it doesn't align with their politics, so they want to talk shit and talk trash about it. But at the same time, it also could be the truth that it actually is quite horrible and nasty. The Vigilante costume looks great, and costumes are usually something Gunn get. Yeah, I agree with you in that aspect. Like I said, don't get me wrong. There are things that I like that have come from this, but in the grand scale and the entire like full picture of this, I just can't get. I can't side with it. I can't get with it. Marvel is shutting down the new Ultimate. Yeah, dude, I saw that too. The Ultimate universe, Ultimate Spider-Man was like their most successful book, their most successful Spider-Man book that they've had in the past like 5-10 years. So yeah, the Ultimate Universe is no longer a thing. Also, Marvel Rivals introduced Daredevil and used him to take a shot at Daredevil. It kind of was all over the place. Yeah, got you. Not Daredevil, more modern Spider-Man comics. Okay, right on. Okay, let's go ahead and share something to the screen. Well, the Lantern show might be decent and not made by Gunn. Yeah, that's what I was watching Ryan Kinnell's stream the other night. I want to say it was last night or yesterday, and I made a comment to Ryan Kinnell. I super chatted, and he kind of like went on like a oh, like I feel that sentiment. He's like, but he's like, that might be a thing that like you said, like James Gunn might be like overseeing the project, but he's actually not himself directing and hands on like that. But he's definitely probably leaning it to like, meld and mesh with all the other things that he's creating in this fucking clusterfuck of a universe that he's trying to pull up. So yeah, but we're gonna go ahead. Let's go ahead and share something to the the screen. Let's go ahead and put up our first little. Yeah, here we go. All right. Hold on real quick. Let me clear my throat. Ugh, all right. The allergies are horrible in the West Coast right now, by the way, guys. All right, so we'll go ahead and we're going to open this this piece article that's done by cosmicbook.news. Cosmic Book kind of leans a little more towards like the right viewpoints. I want to say the guy that writes on this, Matt McGloin, he is a very based kind of guy that's doing journalism. He's not very well known, but some of his takes are pretty interesting. This article was I wanted to speak on this because I did watch the video that Critical Drinker did put out about James Gunn's DCU and how it's falling apart. And while I know that there's people that are not fans of Critical Drinker and like, kind of a lot of the bootlicking that he does for certain people, especially when he wants to get his own creations. Like he did a movie and I think it was on Amazon Prime and I think it tanked. I'm not quite sure exactly like what he does creatively other than talk shit about like other things going on in Hollywood and the pop culture verse. But I'm not I'm not definitely like a fan of his, like a groupie for when it comes to Critical Drinker, but I am in agreement with some of the sentiment that's taken in his latest video. So this Cosmic News article went ahead and like kind of broke down the sentiments and the rhetoric that was. Excuse me, I'm talking too fast. He basically went over the rhetoric and the things that Critical Drinker says in this article and kind of like just breaks down the bullet points and kind of yeah, like I said, man, you guys might agree with this, you might not, but let's just go ahead and read what it says. um YouTuber Critical Drinker says that James Gunn's DCU is already in free fall. In his latest video, he argues the franchise is losing momentum after a string of underperforming projects. This is a true statement. This is very true. Superman's box office to the lackluster reception of Creature Commandos and Peacemaker season 2. And you know what? Let's just go ahead and stop right there because what the things that the eggs that James Gunn has put into the the DCU, I think that's what they're calling it. Yeah, the DCU basket and the eggs that he's put in, not very fruitful and beneficial to the brand and the launch of like a brand new DC universe that you're trying to get people to gravitate towards. Like it's like, James Gunn, he's a weird motherfucker. I'm just gonna say it. He's a weirdo. He's a weird guy. Comes off like a hipster, cocky, kind of very braggadocious attitude. He doesn't give a shit about fans and their. He kind of feels like a Ryan Johnson kind of energy, the way that Ryan Johnson was going about creating in Star Wars. That's how James Gunn kind of feels. But I also know that James Gunn is a fan. He was a comic book nerd and he was like a big Bronze Age guy. So I'm not going to take that away from him because, if I was in the seat and I was creating things and I was in the same position that James Gunn was in, I'm sure that my DC universe would look totally different, right? But my DC universe, probably the version that I would come up with and the one that I would put out, would probably rub a lot of people wrong as well. A lot of people probably wouldn't like the one that I come up with. And this isn't me trying to protect like the stance of what he's basically saying and the way that he is creating, but a lot of people are not very partial in particular to the type of DC universe that he's building up. So I definitely I definitely know there's a lot of people that would agree in that regard. All right, let's go ahead and scroll down. Drinker says the honeymoon period with Gunn is long over. So there was a lot of people that said that they saw like the trailer for the teasers and the first trailer for the Superman movie and they were like, oh, like this looks good, this looks like what I wanted. And I'm pretty sure that I can be clipped and quoted as to seeing some of this stuff and I'm like, you know what, I'm like, this actually looks pretty decent. I'm actually looking forward to seeing this. And then my enthusiasm turned into what's the word, cautious positivity, I guess we could say. I was very apprehensive at wanting to cling to any news and like leaks that I saw coming out of this because I was like, oh, I'm like, I don't know. Like it looks anything can look good. Like Neurodark says, he gets the costumes pretty on point. He's very anal when it comes to getting those, and the representation from like the comic book outfits very on key. So I like that aspect in that regard. But yeah, the enthusiasm, it goes as follows. The enthusiasm that greeted his appointment has faded, replaced with the realization that his version of DC isn't connecting with audiences. And that has a lot of truth to it. Superman, this version of Superman that came out, it felt like, the typical James Gunn Guardians of the Galaxy formula, that he's so eager to just hold on to. He can't help himself. These I guess you could say these like ensemble cast type of movies that he's made ever since the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff came out, and then he hit the ground running with that formula. And he did the same thing with the Suicide Squad movie. And I actually like James Gunn's Suicide Squad over the I want to say, was it David Ayers that directed the first one from 2016? Somebody can tell me in the chat, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I think that his Suicide Squad version, I was definitely excited, and I enjoyed watching that movie, even though there was probably a lot of lore breaking stuff that I probably overlooked, and the fact that I was being entertained. But I liked it a lot, and I don't think that translates well when you're going to do a kickoff launch film for somebody like Superman. And James Gunn, I know I've said it before, like I'm going to be a broken record tonight. James Gunn has no business directing the first Superman film and throwing in about 15 other side characters, and everyone's getting their like little limelight on the silver screen. I don't have a problem with a lot of the characters that we were shown, but a lot of the characters did not need to be in the film. Like that's just point blank period. A lot of people feel that way. I'm not alone in that sentiment. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and let me just check chat as we keep on going on this article real quick. James Gunn isn't very good. Click Keely. Keely's in the room. Hail, shout out to Keely. Guys, go sub to his channel. James Gunn isn't very good, but neither are most in that business. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is true. Drinker made a short film based on his books, and it got mixed reviews as being bland and cliche. Yeah, yeah. I think I watched the trailer for the short film that he put together, and I was not impressed, not a little bit. Drinker's short film is everything he complains about. Very nice, very nice. Like I said, man, I share some of the opinions of him, but I'm not like I'm not a fan of his per se. I'm not sub to his channel. So what's your favorite age in comics? Probably I'd have to say Silver Age is definitely my favorite. There's a lot of Golden Age heroes that I enjoy, but like Golden Age Blue Beetle, Golden Age Green Lantern, even the Shadow comics and the Shadow pulp novels from the 40s and 50s. Those are good. But yeah, the Silver Age is probably my favorite. Bronze Age has good stuff too. Don't get it twisted, all right? Gunn called out Den of Nerds for spreading fake rumors on Twitter, and ever since then, Josh has hated him so much more than he already did. Yeah, I remember that happening. Cautiously optimistic. Yeah, yeah. The end of Peacemaker season 2 kind of killed my excitement for the DCU, but I'll still watch Supergirl and Man of Tomorrow in the cinema. Yeah, yeah. Man of Tomorrow is supposed to be like Lex Luthor oriented, I want to say. I'm over the multiverse stuff. The CW did it a decade. Yeah, they did. They did. Uh, what did you think of the Guy Gardner casting? I thought the Guy Gardner casting was I thought it was all right. I was hesitant. I was pessimistic when it came to Nathan Fillion, because I was like, oh, like he's voiced Green Lantern Hal Jordan on like animations before, and he could have played like an older Hal Jordan, and I would have not had too much of a problem with that. But his Guy Gardner casting, it was all right. It was okay. I didn't have too much of a problem with it. But the whole like calling it the Justice Gang, that was kind of lame. Thoughts on who they casted as Clayface? Who did they cast as Clayface again? Leland. Who did they throw in that seat? Let me know in the chat. Let's go ahead and follow this up. It says Superman flops at the box office. Yeah, Superman at the end of the day did not meet the criteria that it was supposed to. Drinker points to Superman's weak financial performance as the clearest sign of trouble, citing a recent Forbes report. He says the film brought in around $615 million worldwide, clearing just over $300 million after costs, not enough to break even. This, dear viewer, is what we call a flop. He says, noting even Forbes had to admit the movie failed to turn a profit. Drinker adds that if Superman, the single most iconic superhero of all time, well, yeah, he is the foundation of a lot of other heroes and superpowers, can't work under Gunn's leadership, the rest of the DCU stands little chance. Yeah, yeah. If you weren't like if you weren't making Superman like the bang out smash hit that it was supposed to be, everything that follows is just gonna fall short and fall flat. You know, it's not a good omen of things to come. Peacemaker and Creature Commandos fizzle. On the TV side, Drinker calls Creature Commandos irrelevant. Yeah, that was like an animated thing. That was the first thing he put together, and that thing was shite. Peacemaker season 2 is a disappointment. Despite heavy promotion from Gunn, he says the show failed to make Nielsen's top 10 and quickly lost audience interest after its premiere. Drinker also criticizes the series for inserting modern day political lectures and for Gunn's habit of casting his wife and friends in major roles. He argues the nepotism and politics have alienated fans rather than building excitement for Gunn's DCU. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about that. We all know for a fact that this man, James Gunn, loves throwing his fucking brother in everything that he does. And, you know, like, I get it. Like, if I was in the position, probably me too, I would probably want to, like, hire my family and get them into a position of being able to be financially, like, stable for a very long time with, like, just a little bit of work that they would have to put in. I would do that for my family member, you know what I mean? But even though my brother and both of my other siblings are fully employed, so I wouldn't have to worry about that in that regard. But yeah, I would probably do something similar. And, you know, like Narrow Dark just said, like, casting friends in projects is a common Hollywood practice. A lot of people hire the same folks for a lot of the projects. Like, if you go ahead and you watch Quentin Tarantino's films, he recycles a lot of people quite often. And, you know, Samuel L. Jackson being just one of them. Like, we got him in, I want to say, like 2 or 3 Quentin Tarantino films. We lost the gentleman that played Vega in, what was it? Reservoir Dogs. The guy who played Vega, who was supposed to be, like, air quotes, Vincent Vega from Pulp Fiction's, like, brother. And we lost that actor, and he was in, I want to say, every one of Tarantino's movies. But yeah, that I definitely, like, can see that happening. It happens often, and that's a no-brainer, I guess you could say, to stop with the rambling. But his brother's not a good actor. His brother's just not, like, something that's a draw. And then he takes the place of Yondu in the Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy films. He became that character, like one of the new Guardians, basically. And yeah, I'm tired of seeing it. And then also Michael Madsen, thank you, Backseater. He said it in the chat. And then we also had his wife, and I didn't see season 2, but a lot of people were saying that that Gunn's wife was, I want to say, like, represented as being like a loose woman, I guess you could say. And, you know, I don't know what this guy does in his personal life, but I don't know if I could see if I could cast my wife into things where my wife is, like, doing questionable acts with other actors and all that stuff, and just being in that position. So, you know, that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, it's kind of weird. And if you're going to cast people that are close to you, make sure they have some talent. Make sure they have some goddamn talent. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, and like you, Narrow Dark said, it's still nepotism, the production posse. Mike Flanagan does it. Check out his work. It's usually good. Midnight Mass is awesome. I've heard good things about Midnight Mass. God damn it. His brother being so central in Guardians 3 was weird. Yeah, Guardians 3, everyone says like, "Oh, it's so good. It's so touching and emotional." Other than the Rocket Raccoon stuff, it's kind of unbearable. Uh things that what with Adam Savage or fuck me. I spent so long since I watched that goddamn movie. I don't care a thing about Marvel at all. Like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I don't give a damn about it. So I know I'll be clipped about being a fake fan. It's all right. Narrow dark clip it. But yeah, so Adam Warlock, thank you. Adam Warlock, he said it right there. Yeah, that was just real cringe shit. But yeah. All right, we're gonna go ahead. Let's just keep going. Gunn's two big mistakes. According to Drinker, Gunn's downfall comes down to two major errors. First, he failed to make such a clean break from the old DCEU. Instead of a full reboot, Gunn kept his Suicide Squad and Peacemaker projects alive while scrapping most of Zack Snyder's universe. A move that Drinker says left audience confused about what's canon. Yeah, and the whole thing with Henry Cavill, and that was just that was a clusterfuck. Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam and him trying to like strong arm people and getting Henry Cavill like Superman, like a showdown with Superman, kind of teased, and that was a mess. That should have never happened. Um, I definitely think the whole Snyder Bros versus the James Gunn uh well uh lackeys, I guess we're calling them. I don't know what they call themselves, but the James Gunn lackeys versus the Snyder Bros has just been kind of an annoying thing. I hated the Snyderverse. I hated the depiction of Superman the Man of Steel is not a bad movie, but it's not the Man of Steel Superman movie that I necessarily wanted. So I liked Ben Affleck's Batman, but I didn't like the Batman versus Superman film at all. Wonder Woman, she looked cool, but the Wonder Woman movie, I'm good. Yeah, it was just all not good. Snyderverse was not good, and Zack Snyder needs to go over the hill and do something else in life. I think his movie making days are behind him. All right. Second, he forced his personal style into every project. Yep, I already said that. And kind of, gosh, he has such a punchable face, doesn't he? Look at him. Drinker says Gunn's writing formula, a team of flawed misfits, deprecating humor, and pop songs during action scenes worked in Guardians of the Galaxy, but feels stale and out of place in Superman. Yes, it does. Because I'm a punk rocker, yes I am. Oh my god. That was stuck in my head for fucking weeks. I hated that shit. I hated it so much. Uh Update Gunn just said Supergirl is like Guardians. I did see that. Forbes and Screen Rant both put out articles covering how he definitely like everything you make feels like Guardians, bro. Everything you make feels like Guardians. Who the fuck are you kidding? Who are we kidding? I might be just a hater. Yes, you're right. You're right, Narrow Dark. All I do is hate. Yeah. Anyway, the James Gunn formula is worn out. Drinker argues Gunn's creative approach peaked years ago and hasn't evolved. I agree with that. He says the filmmaker's attempt to mold Superman into his familiar brand of quippy anti-hero simply didn't work. Exactly, because Superman does not fit into the category of quippy anti-hero. He is the hero. The hero, mind you, the blueprint for so many heroes that have come and gone. He is the epitome of truth, justice, and the American way. And I think what James Gunn did away with that because he says truth, justice, and the human way. And that just sounds I'm not trying to get like political or conspiracy theory, but when stuff like that happens, when you get rid of a phrase, the American way, and you're like saying, oh, it's the human way, you sound like a globalist, like sympathizer. Like you want everybody to just be together. You don't want any finite uh descriptions of like American kind of style esque things. So, and the American culture. So that's kind of what it sounds like to me. And then it says, quote right here, Superman was fundamentally incompatible with his style of writing. That's true. Adding that the DCU now feels more like Gunn's personal vanity project than a shared cinematic universe. I also feel that way. Like, dude, look at him. He looks like such a douchebag. Like, look at that face. He compares Gunn unfavorably to Marvel's Kevin Feige, saying at least Feige knows his limits and lets other creatives take charge when needed. Yeah, even though a lot of the other creatives that he's let take charge are shite, absolute shite. And then I touches base on the Paramount deal. Paramount deal could end it all. Drinker also touches on the ongoing talk of Paramount potentially acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery, saying that if the deal happens, Gunn and his DCU should be among the first casualties, as we exclusively reported. He suggests new leadership won't tolerate a failing franchise led by a director who fumbled what should have been a slam dunk. With Supergirl and Clayface next on the slate, Drinker questions what could possibly revive fan interest. Yeah, man, the next thing is Supergirl, and then we have talks of the Man of Tomorrow film, and then Clayface. Like, no Batman, right? No Batman, no talks. Like, what's going on with Batman? Like, what is going on with him and Matt Reeves? What's going on with Robert Pattinson's Batman? What's happening with that, right? It says right here, quote, you only get one chance. Drinker closes by saying Gunn has already blown his first impression. You only get one chance to make a first impression, he says, and something tells me this could be James Gunn's last. The video already sparked discussion online, has been viewed over 250,000 times with thousands of comments, and many agreeing the DCU feels lost before it's even begun. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and just let's go ahead and close this. We're going to go ahead and close this out. Let's get back to just me right here. Yeah, so anyway, I don't think that it's off to a good start, and it's been started already for a little bit. It's been going on. It's been having some projects out, and I don't think this is good. I don't think it's going to be great. I think that this is just going to fall flat. If the Discovery deal does happen and we lose James Gunn's DCU, then what? Then the fuck what? Like, what are we going to do then? Tisk. I know, man. I know. Boo decrepit. I'm sorry, man. I'm just a hater. Hater's going to hate. Sounds lame and gay. It does. Did he say the human way in the movie? You know what? I can't recall that actually. I can't recall if he did or not. But I've only seen the movie. I watched it twice actually. I should be able to recall that. But no, I don't think it was the truth, justice, and the American way wasn't even repeated either. I think they just avoided saying it altogether. The globalist, Alex Jones, probably. Fuck Alex Jones. He's a fucking quack. There's other conspiracy theorists that have like debunked a lot of Alex Jones and has said that he's like a big he's a distraction. So I believe that for sure. DC does have a superhero team called the Global Guardians, so maybe there's a connection. Oh god. I think I heard Gunn say he doesn't want to touch Batman because of how religious his fans are. What? Oh, like Batman fans being like very like anal and about how Batman is depicted and all that stuff. I could see that for sure being a thing. He's a fountain of memes. Yeah, I just sent a Alex Jones meme to one of my buddies the other day in our group chat. They aren't introducing the DCU Batman until after the Reeves Batman movies are done. You know what, dude? So, like, the Reeves films are going to be in their own pocket universe. The Joker films are their own thing. But then we're going to get this Clayface film before a Batman film, unless we get Batman, the DCU Batman that James Gunn is putting together in the Clayface movie. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen in that regard, man. Did anybody say who the Clayface actor was? The person that they casted as Clayface. You ever watch Nick Fuentes on Rump? No, I don't watch Nick Fuentes. No, I do not. I don't watch him. Yeah, but I don't think that. I think the direction that this has gone is just like, this is enough. I'm kind of good. I'm out. I don't feel that the choices that are being made are what needs to be made. Like, if you're gonna ask me what I would do with my with my DCU kickoff, you get a solo Superman film, and the Superman film that he made, it would have been good from in my regard as like a kickoff point with like the less humor, less pop music during the action sequences, more Superman, Lex Luthor, Lois Lane, just those three. Like, yes, you can have Jimmy Olsen, yes, you can have Perry from the Daily Planet, you can have all these other characters, Mom, Pa Kent, Crypto, even throw Crypto in there. Fuck it. Like, a lot of people like Crypto. I say leave him in there. Like, whatever. But like, get rid of the Justice Gang, get rid of all these pocket dimensions or whatever the fuck Lex had. I Even though I love Metamorpho, I don't want to see Metamorpho in a Superman film, the first one that's supposed to be the foundation piece for the new universe. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Guy Gardner's Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific, even though I love Mr. Terrific in in the movie that came out. I don't want to see that in the Superman film. I want to see a based, solid, bricked foundation. And somebody clip that because that's going to be taken out of context. Superman's all bricked up. Not been in anything I've seen. Tom Reese Harries is playing Clayface. Let's go ahead and Let's go ahead and I'll get that right now on the thing. I'd save Crypto for a later film, possibly even introduce him along with Supergirl. Yeah, because he's Supergirl's fucking dog. That's what they like made it in this one. So, and the breed of dog that Crypto's supposed to be is not what we got in the movie. That's another nitpick. I'm a hater. Haters gonna hate. But yeah, I didn't want to see that little ass fluffy scruffy looking dog. I wanted to see the clean cut kind of like big larger breed. What we want to say that Crypto's like he's like a Labrador, isn't he? Because I know Ace from Batman's dog Ace is like he's a what's that fucking breed of dog? They're like big as like horses. Great Dane. He's like a Great Dane, I want to say. So Crypto should have been like a Labrador or like a lab sized dog. I prefer Supergirl already being a thing in the DCU. Yeah, like Supergirl, it could be good in the formula and like how she's gonna be like out in space or whatever. That might be cool. But yeah, I don't want to see Supergirl. I didn't want to see Supergirl in the Superman film. Isn't Crypto in the movie the same breed as Gunn? Yeah, it's the exact same. He wanted to see his dog in the movie. And, James Gunn, like we said, nepotism to the third degree for sure. Depends on the artist. Crypto's usually Labrador or Golden Retriever. Yeah, he's typically a Labrador. James Gunn's a narcissist. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yep, it definitely comes off that way. But all right, I was just letting my ex get branded right there. But anyway, like I said, we're looking up. Let's look it up real quick, and I'll throw it on screen. The Clayface actor. Lock on. Okay. Let's share this. I'll share this to screen. Oh, sorry about that, Oddball. I left your comment up. There's only so much I can defend. Gun doesn't make it easy for me. Yep. All right, let's share this to screen so you guys can see. So Tom Reese Harries, a younger actor, 33 years old. Oh wow, he's only two years older than I am. And Clayface is set to release in 2026. And there's already some onset photos. Tom Reese Harries has been cast as Clayface in the upcoming DC Studios film. DC Studios co-chair James Gunn confirmed the casting, noting he and Matt Reeves were blown away by Harry's audition so Matt Reeves had a hand in this. I want to see some sources on that. After a lengthy casting search, the film, directed by James Watkins and written by Mike Flanagan, is scheduled. Okay, so we're getting a different director and a different writer for this. I'm not saying let's all clamor and let's get ready for this to be amazing, but yeah, let's just see. We got some behind the scenes footage or photos. Let's see. Look at this. Let's open image or Clayface first look. This is from the dailymail.co.uk. They're not going to show it. Subscribe to continue. Oh, go fuck yourself. They said subscribe to continue reading. Let me look at the photo. View image. You know what? Google Image just sucks. It keeps on just opening a new tab. But anyway, you guys see this, right? You guys can see this little preview right here. Yeah, he's playing Matt Hagen, backseater. Yeah, Matt Hagen's Clayface. Clayface gonna mock everyone. He looks like a chat. Yeah, the actor's like not. He's like Clayface is an actor. He was an actor, and he was a very handsome young man. In the comics. So, until he got dismembered through a horrible accident. What if they just make Matt Reeves Batman and the DCU one? I don't know how I would feel about that. I don't particularly want that because I can probably we can discuss it on the next time that you and me get together, Narrow Dark, but I don't want certain things from the Matt Reeves Batman going into a DC universe with Superman. So that I'll say that, but yeah, this could be interesting, but again, it's a weird step in a different direction because this is where you're going with your first few set of projects: Supergirl or Superman, Peacemaker, Supergirl, and then Clayface. It's a very random one, I could say, man. I'm not trying to be overly negative to you guys and just but you guys, at the same time, if you guys sub to this and you guys are regular watchers, you guys know how I am. It's unlikely to happen since the Reeves film it hasn't hit it at anything more high concept like Superman or the rest of the D. Yeah, it's way more grounded. The Batman Matt Reeves is way more grounded, way more in its own kind of deal. You know what I mean? Even the Joker that they showed off in the Matt Reeves film, I think it was a deleted scene or something, or an after credit scene that they put Joker in, and it could like like repeating Narrow Dark sentiment. It could be interesting. We could see what happens. So I'm not sure exactly, but you never know, man. But I'm not. It could be interesting, but I'm not exactly thrilled to see that a Clayface movie is being made. I want to see a Superman film. I want to see a Wonder Woman film and a Batman film. And you know what? Then I would go into like some HBO shows, like an HBO show with a character like The Question, Vic Sage's The Question. That would be sick. Like, they did that one show with Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing only got one season, and that one season of Swamp Thing, I actually liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty all right. But they can never be consistent. They can never have one universe altogether. So, but yeah, Tom Reese Harry's playing Clayface. Let's see what happens. Let's see where they go with it. All right, stop sharing that screen. I had to refresh a couple of the tabs that I had open. Sorry about that, guys. Something like Clayface should be a show. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's up? Not representing DCU in the cinema. Yeah, God damn it, dude. Only big fucking smash hits in the blockbuster silver screen. That's all I want. That's what should happen for sure. for sure. Why am I full screen like that? There we go. I hate it when it reverts to full screen. There should be a show in the DCU with some animation style as Arcane, I think. Yeah, that could be cool. That could be cool. Like people will always say the animation style from the Miles Morales movie, whatever it was, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions or Spider-Man Edge to the Spider-Verse. I want or Into the Spider-Verse, whatever the fuck they called those movies. I'm not a fan of the Miles Morales stuff because they always want to put Peter to the sideline for Miles, and they did that with the one of the games that they put out. So I'm not really like keen on Miles Morales like taking the limelight from Peter Parker. I want to see Miles Morales isn't a bad character. I like his uncle character, the Prowler. I like that shit. That was pretty good. But I don't want to see him take the limelight from Peter Parker. Peter Parker is Spider-Man in my opinion. So like I don't want to see that changed. Uh but yeah, the animation style, they always said that the Batman Beyond movie or a Batman Beyond cartoon show like brought back in that style would be sick. And there was a fan film that kind of like echoed those sentiments in like a styling that this guy did for his animation. And it didn't look bad. It didn't look bad, but do I want it? Not particularly, just because something looks cool. Like there's fan films of Star Wars stuff that look cool, but just because something looks cool doesn't mean it should be a thing, doesn't mean it should exist in like canon. You know what I mean? So, and I also love too how they tried to like blackmail and put it over the fan base that the reason we didn't get Batman Beyond was because the Flash movie flopped. So yeah, DC gaslighting the fans that it's their fault that they are not able to make stuff because you guys didn't go and put your asses in the seats in the theater because you didn't support this film. Now we're not going to do what you guys have been asking for the last 20 fucking years. I think a Bane solo movie or miniseries could work, telling his backstory in Santa Prisca and heading his way to Gotham. Yeah, a Bane miniseries. I don't want to see a Bane movie. Yeah, like I like how Narrow Dark set up here, not like the DCU and the cinema should be the big heavy hitter stuff. Not everything needs its own movie. Like when Joker got its own movie, I was like, what the fuck? Like, why are we getting a Joker movie? And then it wasn't even like the classic, like Clown Prince of Crime Joker. It's this like taxi driver. And I have a Blu-ray copy of the Joker movie. I like it. I like it a lot. It's a great film. Todd, what was his name? I think was it Todd Phillips that did Joker. He did an excellent job, and he was the guy who did the Hangover films, and I thought that was an interesting dynamic. But I don't want to see a standalone film of a supervillain and it not be the canon version of the supervillain. Don't give me like if they ended up doing like a solo film of that Riddler from the Matt Reeves Batman movie, I'm passing. I'm good. I don't want that because Matt Reeves Riddler was like incel 4chan ish kind of feeling to him, and I didn't like that. Like Riddler's supposed to be like, and he was like a younger, like just fucking weird looking guy, and like Paul Dano, the actor that played him. He's a great actor, and I think he did good, but it's just not the Riddler that I want to see. You know, we'll have to chat more about DC. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I'll make an announcement at the end of the stream tonight when we will be getting back together. The Spider Verse animation style is overrated. Style is over substance. Yeah, it's style over substance. Exactly. I'd rather see Peter. Yeah, man. Me too. Me too. A lot of these kinds of villain focused stories have been so easy to make animated. Yes, yes, man. Make some of these things into an animated series. Make like the Green Lantern show. It's an HBO show. I don't want to see 10 episodes of Green Lantern show. Like make like 4 episodes, maybe 6, that's pushing it. 6-hour-long episodes, and each episode could follow a different lantern for like different planets and different cases or like emergencies that they got called there for and what they have to overcome, and like through the sheer like power of will face against an obstacle or an enemy that tests their limits and tests their fate and will of being a Green Lantern member in the Corps. Like that would be interesting to me. And make it live action, sure, but make it good, make it really good. But if you're not going to be able to like pull it off, then just do a Green Lantern animated series, like the animated series that was on Cartoon Network years ago. I love that shit. I'm not particularly a fan of the animation style that they did for it, but it was good. I liked watching it. I liked a lot of the Green Lantern lore that was given to us. Razor was one of my favorite characters. You guys know the Red Lantern that turns into a blue one. He turns into a Blue Lantern. Razor, he was good. He was cool. Like Creature Commandos being animated, but also being the same cast for the live action version when they showed up. Yeah, yeah, yep, yep. But I also feel that like the Clayface movie, that could have been better as an animated show or like a short mini series, we could say. But I definitely I want to see the question, like like he wants to do these offshoot characters. Like he made a show about Peacemaker, right? And I just want to like go on a mini rant. I said it at the beginning of the stream. Like one of the many reasons why I hate the Peacemaker show so much is because the way they did Vigilante is a fucking cornball in this show. He's not like Vigilante is Adrian Chase, right? But Adrian Chase from the comic of Vigilante series was a former district attorney and a judge in New York City, and his family's murdered. He actually kind of has a similar storyline to the Punisher, and his family's like brutally murdered by the mafia, the in-town mob of New York. And he becomes a violent anti-hero, and he didn't kill people at first. He was just like incapacitating, like Batman style, with like melee weapons and hand-to-hand combat. And then when he realized like, oh, like I can't actually make a dent into them unless I'm actually taking out some of their numbers and some of their like captains on the street, then this motherfucker, he started killing people. He started shooting people. So Vigilante, like I'm gonna put just a photo of like old school Vigilante comic book on the screen while I talk about this, because Vigilante he's one of my favorite characters, and the Vigilante comic run, that's gonna be one of my comic recommendations at the end of the stream. But yeah, let's go ahead and real quick, shout out to all of you guys in the chat hanging out with me tonight, man. I know it's been a long time since I streamed, but I always appreciate you guys coming back to see what I have going on, and you guys want to talk some shit, and let's all hate on some stuff together. So appreciate you guys. Like I said, appreciate you guys being in here. Okay. All right, let's get my boy on the screen real quick. All right. So yeah, this vigilante is Adrian Chase, like I said, the district attorney and the judge from New York City. And Adrian Chase, like I said, he wasn't killing people at first. He was like going hand to hand, Batman style, trying to be a justice of the peace in the streets. But he realizes he can't go against the mob unless he's actually cutting them down. So then this guy starts shooting them and starts killing them off like one by one. And this comic book run ends up going for about 50 issues for his solo series. And the first issue was the cover art Mr. Nick Pollard was one of the artists for Vigilante in the first 10 issues, I want to say, of the 50 issue run. And I actually met Nick Pollard at a convention. Very nice man. He was very keen that somebody was actually like excited about the character and the artwork that he came out with in the Bronze Age. So I thought that was cool. But anyway, Adrian Chase, he goes down this whole like dark path and like the morality of what he's doing, and then he becomes like so enthralled in killing the mob that there's like accidental killings of other, like there becomes like accidental killings of collateral damage kind of deal, right? Like by innocent bystanders start getting killed, and then he's realizing like he's being hunted by the police, and he can't go out there because his alter ego of or in real life is actually like foiled, so he's always constantly on the run. And he just becomes like a really dark and sinister person mentally and fit and at the end of the series, and to the point where spoiler warning if anyone hasn't read the Vigilante run. I'm gonna just say that spoiler warning. Mute the video if you don't want to hear this. But I gave you opportunity to mute it. Okay, so Adrian Chase at the end of the 50 issues for the solo series of Vigilante, Adrian Chase ends up committing suicide, and he kills himself because he can't see himself being redeemed for all the wrong that he's done, and he kind of like gets it in his head that that was his end game in the first place, because like his wife and his children were murdered, massacred. You know what I mean? And I want to say that some of the Punisher storylines from back in the day definitely leaned towards Frank Castle feeling like he wanted to end it all because he saw no other positive or outlook or option to be able to uh, see a light at the end of the tunnel out of all the horrible things that he's done. So yeah, Adrian Chase, he made peace with himself that that was his way out, and he does take his own life at the end of the series. And he ends up his brother Dorian Chase ends up taking up the mantle of Vigilante. There's actually ends up being about like 7 or 8 different guys that has held the mantle of Vigilante, but Adrian Chase is like the definitive version from the comic books. And the one that we get in the show, in the show is a fucking just, I don't know. I can't like say with good conscience that I could watch that and I could be like actually invested into it when he's a busboy who moonlights like as a sadistic killer of like he kills bad guys, but he's kind of like an unhinged like psychopath serial killer, and he's like comedic relief at the same time. And I can't get down with that. I'm not a fan of that at all. He's way too funny. And Adrian Chase in the comic books is a very serious individual. He takes his mission and like his standing of what he's doing as like the moral good right thing to do. He takes it very seriously. So I can't get behind it. And I'm not a fan of the James Gunn version. James Gunn butchered Vigilante just like he did other characters. So I'll just leave it at that. That's why I refuse to watch season 2 after watching season 1. Like when you have Vigilante saying, "Oh, Peacemaker, he's my BFF," but Peacemaker and Vigilante actually went to hunt down. He actually went to go hunt down Peacemaker at one point in the comics. Like he wanted to fucking kill him. You know what I mean? So they were not friends in the comics at all. That's just some made up shit that James Gunn decided to do. Real quick, so I'm not getting you guys lost in the chat. Now I kind of tangented off on Vigilante real quick. Like Creature Commandos being animated, but also being the same cast for the live action version. Oh, I already read that. Sorry. Crazy to think the CW had a more accurate version of Vigilante. Yes, that was the first live action version that we got of the character was in the CW. Excellent memory. They always change up characters like Vigilante because they're obscure to the point not many people will complain if they ruin them. If they write off the complainers as toxic man babies. Yeah, I guess that's what you could that's what you can call me. because I definitely didn't like that at all. Let me see. Gunn thinks because the character is obscure, he can do whatever he wants with them. Yeah, yep. He did with that with Arm Fall Off Boy from the Legion. Oh yeah. Night Narrow Dark. Oh, did Narrow Dark go or did are you heading out back to you? Either way, one of you whichever one of you guys are heading out, good night to you. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. Vigilante was based in the comics. Yeah, Vigilante was. Did you read the Vigilante book, Oddball? Did you end up getting a hold of that? Right on. I'm chilling. Oh, okay. So it's back to your head now. Okay, right on. Right on. Good to hear. Not all of it, no. Okay, right on. Well, when you get the chance, you should definitely read it. Check it out, man. It's very good. All right. So that was kind of like my rant on like James Gunn stuff. All in all, not a fan of what's going on. We're gonna go ahead and see what happens in the future. But speaking about the Paramount purchase of WB, we have another article from the Cosmic Book News or the Cosmic Book News website that I just was giving a little bit of a some glazing time to. We're gonna go ahead and give them more. So I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen. Let's get into another article. And guys, I'm gonna stream for probably a little bit tonight. So we're just hanging out. We're just talking about some stuff. Like I said, tonight was a little bit different. I just wanted to catch up on some of the stuff that's been going on, and then we'll get into like new comic book talk next week. We'll go back to discussing some of those. So I apologize that this is the frame that you guys automatically have to see. uh, you guys can curse me out in the chat or in the comment section on the replay when you see this. But another piece done by Matt McGloin it goes as titles: DC Comics Woke Fest is toast with Paramount purchase of WBD. So, with the Trump backed Paramount purchase of Warner Brothers Discovery currently in the mix, the woke DC Comics era could be over. Fans have long criticized DC's direction in recent years for pushing identity politics, and the rumored Skydance deal could bring up a course of correction for the comics to the big screen. We've already been told that James Gunn will be out as head of DC Studios if the deal was to go through, and we expect the impact will be felt all the way down to DC Comics. Man, it's going to be interesting. Woke DC, gay Superman, and declining sales. Woke DC replaced Clark Kent with his son, John Kent, and revealed him as gay and bisexual in Superman, son of Kal-El. Yeah, I remember that happening. The move made national headlines, but not for the reasons DC hoped. Fans accused the publisher of chasing headlines instead of telling good stories. The title saw declining sales and was eventually canceled after just 18 issues. Yep, the push for identity driven stories extended across DC from race and gender swap characters to social justice plots, alienating parts of the core fan base. Critics said DC had turned away from its roots, replacing timeless heroism with divisive politics. This is true, man. This is honestly true. Like we were getting covers from DC Comics. Like I remember it just like it was yesterday. Last year and the year before for like Women's History Month, the covers that were coming out for those books on like the Wonder Woman and the Catwoman and the Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy comic runs, the covers that were coming out for that was insane. There was fuck man, I want to pull it up after this article, but I'm sorry you guys have to look at this fucking disgusting shit right now, but I'll go ahead and scroll down. But there was like a Wonder Woman issue that came out during Women's History Month for one of the months or for one of the years in the past, and it was like Wonder Woman, and she had like buff arms, and she looked like built like a man, and it was just fucking just gross shit. I don't know why they decided to go that route. It's just some of the decisions they were making is just beyond me. I can't believe that they would butcher some of their characters like this. uh this is just kind of like a hit piece. This guy's just talking shit. Gretchen Felker Martin. So this person, yeah, right here up here, that individual It's a man saying that he's a woman and was chosen as the writer for the next Red Hood comic book. They're like, let's go ahead and just look at this right here. Does this look like does this scream like Red Hood writer to you guys? Because I don't know what the fuck DC was thinking. Jim Lee really needs to get a fucking grip and a hold of this company when shit like this is happening, and it's not even based off of like Red Hood that we all know. We're talking. I'm sorry if that advertisement was going in your guys' ears. But we're talking like Red Hood wasn't even going to be about Red Hood. It was going to be about like climate change and like political activism on the street level. Like who the fuck wants that in a Red Hood comic book? Not me. So this person got canned uh recently because Gretchen Felker Martin celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk. Now, I'm not gonna get into it, but I will say this. I'm not a fan of Charlie Kirk and I don't particularly agree with some things that he said, but I didn't want to see the guy get like fucking shot up and like assassinated, you know what I'm saying? I'm not one of those fucking freaks and weirdos that like celebrates the assassination and death of somebody that they disagreed with. I'm not that kind of person. That's not how I was raised. So the series was pulled just one day after its debut, with DC issuing credits to retailers. Two of my shops, not one, two of my shops in my local area got the issue ones, and one of the owners in the bigger city near me, he had to get told what happened, and once he found out what happened, he grabbed all the issue ones off of the rack and tossed them in the garbage. He said, I don't even want to get my money back for these. I just want them. He's like, I want them out of here. I want them out of existence. No one should even like what happens to the copies that get sent back to them? Do they just go in a vault? Do they just go in like a stockyard or a warehouse? Like I don't know what happens to these copies. Maybe they get redistributed at like a discount bookstore or like sent to like a children's like library. You never know what happens to those issues, right? So, I definitely want to say that that was good on his part to go ahead and just like disregard all those issues. He tossed them right in the trash after he like shredded them or ripped them up. He didn't want them being put out back for anybody to read them. So he went ahead and did that, and then the other retailer, they sent back their copies for credit credit from DC. So yeah, that was kind of crazy. I haven't seen that happen in a long time. Like an issue one immediately got pulled because of the things that a creator said. Where was this kind of energy when fucking Tim Sheridan was saying shit about people in the fan base when he was making that stupid fucking Alan Scott Green Lantern comic book? I don't know what happened about that, but I definitely know that that comic book should have got pulled off of the shelf after the first issue based off of what that guy was fucking saying. He was a fucking retard. While official statements cited public comments inconsistent with DC's standards and conduct, THR's reporting said the decision came directly from Warner Brothers executives, not DC Comics editorial. There you go. It went over Jim Lee's head. That distinction matters. It shows that WB leadership, not DC itself, stepped in to halt the project, probably signaling a new direction from the top. I hope so, man. And this isn't me necessarily saying that I want to see like DC Comics turn MAGA. I don't want to see like
The customer
right-leaning
maintains the
politics
security
like
in the cloud.
dominate everything.
A
I just want to
crucial
see
portion of your
normal
security
good
in the cloud
stories
is
being.
hardening your virtual
What the
machine
fuck is
images.
that?
For enhanced
Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. That advertisement started playing out of nowhere. But yeah, I don't want to see politics from either one side get like shoved down people's throats. Just let's see good stories, all right? Let's just see good stories. That's all I want. That alone signals what's coming, a broad move to depoliticize corporate media under Ellison's leadership, and cross your fingers, DC Comics could be next. This fucking photo of Trump on the Superman body is fucking insane. This guy, this guy is like a hard this guy's like a hardcore Trumper. So I'm not saying necessarily what he's saying is the correct or the right thing either, but I don't want to see politics in comic books. Like galore. Like, if there is politics in comics, let it be the politics that are happening in that universe for the comic book. Okay, like let's see that happen like that. And this thing's frozen on me. The comic looked terrible anyways. It did. It did. It did look terrible. All right. And then we had some announcements from New York Comic Con. Are you guys getting me on this? Because I think there was a lag or the delay going on. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, DCKO is like the next thing after that's tying in with like the Absolute Universe, and DCKO is like a big old just well, what could you call it? Like it looks like it's like a tournament tag kind of deal. It's like a Tekken tag tournament kind of thing, like heroes versus villains, and everybody is like at a different level. You got Superman and Batman going up against people like Sub-Zero and Vampirella and like other characters like that. It's not even a purely DC event that's happening. It's getting mixed in with a bunch of other characters, and I'm so tired of it. I'm so sick of like the crossovers in DC. I'm so sick of these like gimmicky ass events that are happening. Like there can't just be a baseline Batman book that's good. It has to be absolute Batman. It has to be Batman KO. There's a new Batman #1 that just dropped like 2 weeks ago, and I don't even know a fucking thing about that because I'm not reading it. You know. I'll need to start covering DC Comics on the channel. Yeah, man, do it. I know you want to see me cover it. Maybe I'll clip some things that I said in this and like drop it as like a short or a video on the channel tonight. Did I hear about Absolute Evil? Are you talking about the things with like the Omega Legion with like Darkseid? Because if that's not it, then I'm not exactly sure. I think I'll start with Vigil. You bastard. It's mine. It should have been me. I'm just kidding. Just kidding, man. Do whatever you want, man. You do great. You do great work. You know, everybody go sub to Narrow Dark. Like I keep saying it. Go sub to Narrow Dark. All right. And then we also had some things that were announced, like I said. There was like the DC panel with Jim Lee and everything, and they announced some new titles that are going to be coming out. They announced a new Batwoman, Zatanna, Deathstroke, and Terminator is getting a reboot. Lobo, the Demon Etrigan, Shadow of the Bat, Firestorm, Nuclear Man, and then Barbara Gordon's Breakout. And some of the creators that were listed for these titles is like Greg Rucka, George Corona, Dennis Camp, Mariko Tamaki, James Herron, Jeff Lemire, Tony Fleeks, Jamal Campbell, Joshua Williamson, Scotty Young. Like those creators right now, those are going to be some of the people that are spearheading a lot of these titles that are going to be coming out. And I want to say they're going to be doing Shadow of the Bat. Yeah, I guess. The 80s and 90s Shadow of the Bat stuff was good. I enjoy those runs, but let's see. We'll see about who's writing it. And then the Demon Etrigan, like of course, I like the Demon. I like Jack Kirby was behind the Demon back in the Silver Age, and he did good work on that. So I don't know. It's I've yet to see. Everything is just like you're cautiously optimistic about everything that comes out. And I'll share the it's basically Absolute Justice League. Oh god. Nothing can be on its own. It has to be part of an absolute universe. It has to be part of a tag-along thing. I'm share the screen. I'm not going to share the full article because there's not really any articles that are covering this because it just got announced or like literally a day ago. But yeah, right here, like it says, Batwoman, Zatanna, Deathstroke, the Terminator, Lobo, Firestorm, Demon, Breakout, and then Shadow of the Bat, Batman's Shadow of the Bat. Those are all going to be new series coming soon to the DC Comics racks. But why is this all these fucking ads? Yeah, man. And then you go right there, the list of the creators. So DC Next Level. That's what it's going to be called. DC Next Level. Aren't we all kind of just sick of this? Aren't we kind of just tired of all these events? Like I know you guys have to be. I guess I'll say this right here. It says DC Comics has been canceling a fair number of titles lately, some due to poor sales, other due to social media posts. And yep, that's regarding the Gretchen Fucker Martin. Let's call her that or him that. Announced at New York Comic Con during the DC Comics panel today, led by Scott Snyder, is DC Next Level. Man, the name of DC Comics' new publishing program featuring numerous new titles, including new number ones. How many how many fucking how many variants do you think we're gonna get for the Shadow of the Bat and Deathstroke books? And the Lobo and the Demon books and Firestorm. Like how many variant covers are you gonna think? Like let's say they do 50 variants of Shadow of the Bat because that's what they want to do. Every time there's a new Batman book, it always has to have the most variants. And then let's say the Demon gets like 10 different variants, Lobo gets 15 variants, Batwoman's gonna get probably like 8, Zatanna will get 6, and then Deathstroke will probably get 10. Barbara Gordon will probably get 3 variants. Firestorm, like I don't know anybody that's a fan of Firestorm personally, but I think the amount of variants and the money they're going to rake in on the new issue number ones for these, that's definitely going to be the highlight of those highlight of those releases. Okay, nothing new in chat. All right, just had to check that real quick. We've been going for an hour 20. We're gonna talk about a couple things and then we'll be getting into like comic book recommendations at the end of the stream. But yeah, NYCC the Comic-Con in New York, there was a lot of things regarding DC that was announced. Marvel not so much, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't care about I'll stop sharing this real quick. I don't care about what's it called? I don't care about the absolute runs. Absolute Batman has kind of lost its flavor for me. Scott Snyder does these things like Scott Snyder did, and this will probably be like a mini rant on him. Scott Snyder did the Batman Who Laughs storyline, and the Batman Who Laughs was just a multiverse, like the dark death metal multiverse clusterfuck that he came up with for that is just it's a lot. It's a lot big pill to swallow, man. And then the Batman and the 3 Joker stuff that he also did. Like Scott Snyder did good work in the New 52 with like the Court of Owls and alongside Greg Capullo. That was great stuff, you know what I mean? But I'm just not really a fan of this, man. I'm tired of different alternate universes. I'm tired. I like the Elseworld things from the past, but Elseworld stuff is no longer like it doesn't hold any weight and it doesn't hold its value that it used to, you know what I mean? Like they're giving so many characters alternate versions. We have absolute Superman, absolute Wonder Woman. We just got absolute Catwoman featured on the absolute Batman that just released, and I can't get behind this stuff, man. I'm not a fan of all these different variants. I just want all the multiverse doors to close, shut off. Let's not go into space unless we're talking Green Lantern for like a 5 years. Let's not go to space or go to alternate dimensions. I know comic books thrive on stuff like that, and that's the reason why they've been able to drag the corpse of so many series that have been just like reliant on that kind of thing. But let's just get basic grounded stories. let's get a Batman with Dick Grayson, or Batman. We can even go to Batman with Jason Todd, or Batman with what's his fucking name? I always forget the third Robin. Tim Drake. We like let's get all these going, right? Let's get a classic Superman comic book. And like, they think that people think that all that stuff is boring, and the attention span of a lot of people that read comic books is actually quite attentive and willing to go the long run and read the drawn out like explanations and origins of things again. People will read it, people will support it if it's good. But I will say that they need to, oh, hold on real quick. Forgetting the world's second greatest detective, fake fan. Thanks, man. I'm a fake fan. Red Death's origin was god awful. Yeah. The Batman speedster Red Death. Yeah. The Dark Knight's metal thing was cringe. It was very cringe. I just don't see that this kind of formula lasts. Like, the comic industry is suffering greatly from a lot of things, and it's a lot of self-inflicted wounds that these people in the seats and the decisions they've been making. This is the fruits of all of those decisions coming to light. It doesn't happen immediately. It happens later down the line, years ahead, when it's actually going to you're going to see the signs of the rot that's setting in. So unfortunately, this is where we're at in the comic industry, and I would like to be hopeful about the future for comic books. But with a lot of the comic stores that shut down yearly, that have been like annually, at least like 3 or 4 shops in the country shut down, if that, or probably even more, I want to say. But the industry is tanking. Stories are not keeping people. Variants can only maintain an attraction to the medium for so long. And I just definitely would like to see like a switch and change up in a lot of like positions of power, and the leaders and the heads of these franchises that are making these decisions, because I Chihuahua. It's not good. We did get some, like, segueing into comic book related toys. There was McFarlane did show off a couple things that are going to be hitting the shelves soon. And we got a DC action figures that were revealed at NYCC 2025, and um we're going to be getting a Superman from Superman and the Authority, the Flash from Justice League and New World Order, and then we're going to be getting Rocket Red, Larfleeze. I'm gonna get the Larfleeze one because that's a lantern oriented character. Ice, Gangbuster, Black Condor, Elongated Man, Professor Pig, Black Hawk. Right there. It's a fucking X post. But if you guys can see this right here, let me open this in a new tab. I don't want to show an X post. I don't want to show X, like the site. But if you guys can look at this right here, that's what the preview for the toys was looking like. The next reveal was a new wave of page punchers that will most likely be highly sought after. Oh yeah, so Page Puncher. We're going to be getting a Hal Jordan and Jessica Cruz one from a copy of Green Lantern 48 from the DC universe, and then Jay Garrick and Barry Allen with the Flash copy of 123 from the Flash, and that's going to be the spring of 2026 for these Page Puncher ones. And then I'm going to go ahead and close this screen because there was also one. I'm going to be biased with this because this was the one that I'm the most excited for. If it will let me. I think this computer has a virus because I just have fucking pop-ups and stuff for everything. Okay, right here. I can share this screen. And don't worry, guys. We're going to be closing out the stream pretty soon. I know I've been rambling on and tangenting to you guys for a while, almost an hour and a half now. So yeah, we're going to be getting a Green Lantern Gold Label McFarlane figure brought to us from the cover that is Green Lantern Volume 3, issue number 48. And this is when Hal Jordan basically gets mad with power, and this is like one of the iconic covers of him from Emerald Twilight, of him wearing all of the Green Lantern rings. And this one, like, it has like the painted face with like the highlight because it's supposed to be reminiscent of the cover. And I'm gonna buy this. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm gonna get this figure, and it looks pretty fucking cool. I have a lot of Green Lantern figures in like a storage bin, and this is just going to be, not to quote General Grievous, but another fine addition to my collection. But if you guys didn't see this one looks pretty fucking sick. So yeah, I'm definitely going to get that. All right. So I just wanted to show a little glaze a few toys real quick. Need that Hal figure for sure. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it looks awesome. I can't wait till I can actually get it. You know, it's actually going to be in Walmart first. It's going to be a Walmart exclusive first, and then other people will be able to buy it through other retail sources. But yeah, looks pretty cool. Let's go ahead and lean into comic book recommendations. I'm gonna type them up when I go ahead when I in the chat for you guys to go ahead and either screenshot or copy down. I'll go ahead and I'll add my comic book recommendations in a pinned comment on the replay. When you guys watch the stream, I'll go ahead and like put it either in the description or I'll pin it in the comment section. But you know, obviously, first off, I'm gonna go ahead and recommend the Vigilante comic book. The Vigilante was a 50 issue series, and oh, sorry about that, guys. I have something on my phone that I had to read real quick. But yeah, the first issue of Vigilante was in 1983, and it's the origin of Vigilante, aka Adrian Chase. And you guys can feasibly get this issue for a very reasonable price. If you guys want to see what the issue looks like, I can go ahead and throw this up. Go to mycomicbookshop.com to show you guys basically. I'll share my screen one more time. Share the screen for the last time tonight when we do all these. All right, so we're going to look at mycomicshop.com. This is where I typically buy back issues if I can't find them locally at my shops. This is where I go. So I'll also have the link to mycomicshop.com in the description as well. But Vigilante issue number 1 from 1983. This is a relatively feasible book to find for yourself. It follows in. This is like I said, front artwork done by Keith Pollard, and Vigilante is 50 issues, and this is a very very good storyline, very fun to read, and it's very impactful, very serious character. So definitely go check it out. You can get this roughly for about like $8 to $10 near mint. You can get a near mint copy for about $10. So definitely, I recommend Vigilante from 1983. Go read that one. And then we're gonna go ahead and, of course, I can't emphasize this enough. Like when I say Green Lantern is always somebody that Green Lantern is someone that I always can't shut up about. But yeah, third series. So this is the issue number 1 for Green Lantern, volume number 3. This was released in June of 1990, and this was the kickoff. And it's it starts off with Hal Jordan, and you know, once we get about to like issue 48 49, that's when the Emerald Twilight and the Parallax storyline takes place, and then we get introduced into one of the most iconic Green Lanterns of Earth, which is Kyle Rayner. So Kyle Rayner is one of my favorite Green Lanterns, and I really suggest and encourage you guys to go check this out. But yeah, Green Lantern Volume 3 from 1990. That is going to be one of my second comic book recommendation for you guys. And then we're going to go ahead and I will recommend one more. Excuse me. It was said earlier here in the chat, when we brought up Swamp Thing, but Swamp Thing from where is it at? I don't know where the fuck. I really should have had these tabs open for you guys before I started. I apologize, guys. Right here. Right here. Swamp Thing, published in 1972. Unfortunately, issue number 1 is a little bit harder to find. Like the single issues of these are a little bit pricey. So I encourage you guys to go like the trade paperback or the omnibus route, or go read it digitally if you can. So definitely, like, don't break the bank trying to read some of these books, because unfortunately, like, the collector space is always asking a fair pretty penny for some of these high grade number ones from the silver and bronze age. So definitely find other means of getting a copy or getting your hands on the story. But Swamp Thing, the first series from 1972, definitely go. You guys can check out some of these covers. They're really amazing artwork. Such beautiful stuff. This is all beautiful covers right here. But yeah, Swamp Thing is one of them. And then not Swamp Thing, but how did hold on. Oh yeah, okay. Typing isn't letting me work right now. Anyway. No, we're not gonna do that. And then my last recommendation for you guys tonight is Carnage, It's a Wonderful Life. This was published in October of 1996. This is a one-shot book. It is only a single issue, and this is a very sadistic and sick, twisted story. Just a fair warning, not for the snowflakes. It basically follows Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage, inside of a mental institution, and he is being interviewed by a psychologist, like a mental therapist psychologist character. And this guy is like in the same room as him, and he's sitting there listening to Cletus like describe. It's basically, you get an origin story for Carnage in this, as well as also getting many different insights into the way that Carnage thinks and his rationale for his drive, what motivates him as a character, and what he wants to do with society. And it kind of like is a foreshadowing of, if you ever read the Absolute Carnage run in the last like 10 years, this was a catalyst for a lot of things that happened and transpired in that series. So Carnage, It's a Wonderful Life, issue number 1, but it is only a one shot. This book will run typically for you about like in like an 8.0 grade, about like $12 to $15. You can get this. Don't spend any more than $20 on this book if you can. But there also is availability for you to read it online if you so choose. So yeah, that's going to be my last comic book recommendation, Carnage, It's a Wonderful Life. We'll go ahead and stop sharing the screen. Like I said, I will be putting out the comic book recommendations in the chat or the description, or in the comment section, I should say, or the description, once the video is available for replay. If you're watching this on the replay and you got to the end of this video, I really applaud you. Thank you. Thanks for listening to my rambling and my raving. and my hating, talking shit about stuff, and also my glazing of some of the things that I like. Really appreciate you guys and your support. Everybody, shout out to everybody in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. It was a great time to catch up and talk some stuff with you guys. Like I said, next week when we come back on the next Monday stream, next Hangout with Your Floppy, we will go into some new releases for the week, and we will be picking back up on the comic books that I am partaking in. I also want to announce that I will be bringing back Unlimited Tirade this Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Do not miss out. If you guys are unable to catch that live, do check out the replay on it. I am going to try and bring back both my co-hosts, Narrow Dark and Captain Keeley, for it. We are going to try to bring the band back together, and Unlimited Tirade should be a smashing hit like we always do. So thanks, guys, again for hanging out with me tonight, and check out the replays and check out the streams if you haven't already. I already have them set up in playlists on the channel, so definitely go give that a check out. Go follow me on X if you haven't already. My handle is below in the banner going on the bottom of the screen right now. You guys can hit me up on X. My DMs are open. I do not block anybody, and if you want to talk comic books or talk Star Wars or anything like that, feel free to hit me up and add me as a follower. And be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share this live stream and the replay. So that being said, thank you all again so much, and you guys have a good night, and I am out of here. Peace.